You ready yet?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Rick Morgan.
Here.
Bob Freeman.
Here.
Frank Bradley is here. With the minutes of the Selectmen's Workshop, Monday, August the 15th. Make a motion, we approve them.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have the minutes from the Selectmen's meeting, Monday, August 15th. Make a motion, we approve them.
I said second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
I don't think you said so.
I didn't hear it.
I did say it, didn't I? At every play that.
I'm sure my wife would agree with him that I don't hear well. We have the vouchers here for the week ended 8/20/2016. Payroll 27,978.35. Payroll taxes 8,738.90. Total of $36,717.25. We have a batch total of $20,306.09, with the total payment for this particular group of payments of $57,023.34. Make a motion, we approve. All those, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hopefully I got all that. Thank you. I have a memo here from our Public Works Director. Now, Brad, I know you're trying to get this done and on the ball. I just don't want to hear about it, you know. Received 2 quotes for supplying salt for the 2017 season, which means winter's coming. Granite State Minerals is at $58.85 a ton. Morton Salt is at $63.37 a ton. Brad recommends we go with Granite State at $58.85 per ton. To make a motion that we approve purchasing our salt from Granite State this year.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Only question, that's where we've been getting it from?
That's where we get
We've
it
had no
from.
issue on deliveries, availability, or anything like that?
They've been great the whole 10 years I've been here, so, yeah.
That's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Brad, what do you want to sign on this? You want me to sign this?
That's just a copy you guys can have. If you just want to initial the memo, is fine with me. Then I'll turn that into Elaine when she does the purchase order and stuff. She has the initial.
Okay. I have another memo here from Brad Harriman in reference of striping of our roads. It says I've reached out to 3 companies for quotes on August 3rd, 2016 for striping the paved town roads in Ossipee with double yellow lines, and as I have in the past 3 years. Industrial Traffic Lines responded with a quote of 7.5 cents per foot, same price as last year. Sur Line A lot did not respond this year, and last year they quoted 9 cents a foot. L&D Striping also has not responded for the last 2 years, but they did have the contract when you started working here. Therefore, we only have one back. Make a motion that we go with Industrial Traffic Lines for the basically $9,100. It's $9,099.45.
Kind of what the footage comes out at, yeah.
So I make a motion, we go for the $9,100.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is that consistent with what you think everybody else is paying?
Yeah, it is. And it's, like I said, the same price we got last year.
Okay.
And we were paying more, until I got these guys last year, we were paying more the previous 2 years with Sir Lancelot. We were in the 8 to 9 cent range then. So, so
And you're very limited on the companies that are out there that
We
actually
really are,
perform
yeah.
this function.
Yep.
They're hard to come by and find. So I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
a contract to use facilities from the Center Ossipee Firemen's Association. This is actually for the ham night penny sale for April 7th and 8th of 2017.
Wow.
Peter Waugh wanted to make sure he gave us something to do before he left. Make a motion, we approve this for the Center Ossipee Fire Department.
Second it.
Any discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. He even approved it, see that? I have an abatement here for a tax map 110 lot 21. This is a gentleman who we met with who has paid in full his past taxes, but we had a little bit of interest that accumulated after we made the agreement with him for $292.32. And this is strictly to abate that interest. He has paid his back taxes in full. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. Have another abatement here for taxpayer timely filed abatement for the 2015 tax year. He is appealing his assessment because he believes his assessment is above market value. Taxpayer has asked for reconsideration on the abatement decision previously rendered. He asserts that his property is unique because of the amount of waterfront frontage when related to the comparable properties. This property has the most minimal amount of shore frontage, 40 feet. Perhaps it would be prudent to adjust further by 5% on the home site to account for this circumstances. Additionally, there is one bedroom above the garage which is attached to the main house by a covered walkway. This circumstances is reason to adjust the additional functional. I am recommending an additional 10% to the bill, minus 10% to the building for this change, which drops his assessment by $29,200. It gives him a refund of $580.50. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? I have a second abatement. This one's on map 127, lot 001. Again, this taxpayer filed in a timely manner for the 2015 tax year. It says the taxpayer has asked for reconsideration of the previous abatement decision. The reason is he believes his property is worth less than most of the general area is due to the lack of visibility from Route 16. This is the reason why I recommend granting the abatement initially. I have had a lengthy conversation with the taxpayer. He is insistent that the value is much less than what the revised assessment is. He cites the sale of what used to be the drive-in theater property located behind the plaza of Hannaford in it. I don't know the details behind that sale. Seems to be very low due to the acreage and location. However, it is reasonable to presume that due to the lack of visibility, this property is less desirable than the one that has good visibility from Route 16. Additionally, much of the backland is wet and unusable. I recommend adjusting the land to account for these circumstances. He actually dropped the assessment by $35,100, which gives him a refund of $731.14. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have an intent to cut wood. Tax map 261, lot 216. Wanda Wood is the owner. Mike Merrill is the cutter. Taxes are paid, no cemeteries. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Highway Department work log is here in the folder. If anybody would like a copy, you're welcome to it. We did receive information that comes from the University of New Hampshire. On the large scholarship fund, it lays out who got the scholarships, if anybody would like to have a copy of it, I believe you're entitled to it. It's an important scholarship fund. We did get 3 students here in Ossipee who received it. There's students from Wolfboro, Moulton Borough, Wakefield, Tufton Borough. They all participate in it. Bob, I think you're the one that better understands this fund than anybody.
No, I'm on the other one.
You're on the other one.
Yep.
This is one that is administered by the University of New Hampshire, and this is just a follow-up report that they send to us. If anybody would like it, welcome to it. Green Mountain Conservation Group has done a water quality testing of different water areas within town, which include Beach River, Frenchman Brook, Bear Camp River, Mouth by the Boat, Pine River, Level River, Red Brook, Ossipee Lake Outflow, Broad Bay, and as a result of that, it turns out that the Ossipee share of this water quality testing is $2,400. This is more information to us. We did approve the expenditure through our expenditure bills, which we do approve. So anybody would like a copy of that, you're welcome to it. Carroll County Coalition for Public Health, Substance Misuse in Carroll County, Community Conversation, Training, Tuesday, August 23rd, 4:30 to 8:30, Tri-County Community Action, which is TRICAP, 446 White Mountain Highway in Tamworth, facilitated by the Black Crow Project. Copy of this goes to Jimmy by chance, do you know?
I'm not sure, but I will forward it to
Would
you.
you forward it to him? Because to me, he would have more interest than anybody. And they have an officer who would like to attend that. It's something that's getting a lot of attention. It needs a lot of attention. It's something that needs a lot of work by everybody to try to bring this situation under control. This is from the Greater Ossipee Area Chamber of Commerce, another letter to us. It's basically out to their membership. Board of Directors has voted to have the following Greater Ossipee Area Chamber of Commerce members from the yearly nominating committee in preparation of this year's ballot on the October annual meeting. Anybody would like a copy of it, they're welcome to it.
It's sent out to us as a member.
It's sent out to us as a member, yeah. We have a check, recycling, Northeast Resources, recycling out of the dump, $236.79. It's scrap metal that we managed to get some money back on. We have a letter here from cable service in town, now called Charter Communication, just giving us the latest as part of their contract. Anybody would like a copy of that, you're welcome to it. We have another contract to use facility, Ashley Drew, Fort Valley Road. This is for a wedding. The date is
Last Friday, or last Saturday.
last Saturday, yeah. Threw me for a loop here on 8/20. Apparently it came in late. It's already happened. You want approval on this then? Huh?
Yes.
You do.
What if we vote no?
We can't lose on this one, right?
We got our tables back this morning, so we're good.
Make a motion, we approve it for record purposes.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor,
Yes.
I know I read the 8/20 date and I had to stop for a minute because I was
I
lost.
wonder why you were hesitating.
It's the end of the red folder. Old business, highway garage is looking very nice down there. Coming along well.
Yep, the doors are all in, and they had them out, new brackets today for the motors that are gonna run, you know, the electric door openers there and stuff. And they'll be back tomorrow to install those motors and stuff, so as soon as we have power there, we'll be able to open and close the doors, at least the big ones. Small ones we can open and close down, but the big ones are heavy.
Did you receive an update from Eversource?
No, I checked everything right before I came up here tonight. I still haven't responded. They said they would let me know by today, but I'll give them another day or two, and then I'll Yep, right after them again.
I did have a chance to walk the new addition with Brad down there today and Billy. Extremely pleased with the way it's come out. It's a wonderful addition to the town, a wonderful addition to our highway department. It's going to make the job of our folks a whole lot easier and much more efficient.
And safer.
And safer. So things have come along well. There's just a few cosmetics left to do down there. The building itself is basically done. Finish our electrical, our plumbing, our heating, and our electric door openers. So great job to everybody involved. Really appreciate
Yes,
it.
Brad, looks awesome.
Any other old business, Bob? Rick?
The only thing I'd add on the garage is, and the employees down there are doing a lot of work,
Yes, yes.
over and above what we contracted out. So they're making it a really, really nice addition, so, as far as that goes. The only other thing, a couple of things I wanted to mention. One, the budgets are online. Budget committee has met. We'll be starting again shortly, reviewing budgets, obviously, but the current budget is in good shape. We have yet to borrow again from the TAN note, and there's no need in the foreseeable short term that we're gonna have to do that, so that's a good thing. The other thing I got under old business is that, back to the issue of the opioids and what's going on. I was more than a little dismayed. Through government oversight, I actually watched the last government school district meeting, which was Ed did, as we had asked him to bring up our concern about the prevention part of the equation. And let me preface this by saying, listen, I have nothing but respect for our school board members. They, just like this, they are elected to a board where they have immense responsibilities and duties. They're doing it for the right reason. They don't get paid any amount of money, I don't think. I'm certainly not questioning their motive. But I was dismayed in the sense that it sounded as though they felt that they're doing enough on the prevention side. And with all due respect, I couldn't disagree more. I've said many times that my loyalty years ago wasn't to the DARE program. My loyalty was to doing an anti-drug, anti-violence program with our kids before they got to Kingswood. The rest of that story is, so to speak, and I hollered about it a lot way back when, they used a study which was put out by an organization called NORML, which is a national organization for the reform of marijuana laws, which is the most perverse thing in the world to me, because they actually used a pro-drug group's information to get rid of an anti-drug program. And the basis of that study was that because teen marijuana use was up, then the DARE program was a failure, in a nutshell. The problem with prevention is you'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never have those hard numbers as to what you are doing. But with the issue of drugs, as a for instance, simply because teen marijuana use was up, you cannot automatically then conclude that the information that they were given didn't prevent them from going on to worse and harder drugs. You'll never know those numbers. They're numbers that people want and you can't have. When you have a patrolman out in the cruiser tonight, you know you prevent some crimes. You'll never know how many cars you just met that were going to burglarize a business and didn't do it because they saw you. You'll never know. You know you do something. My issue with what's going on is you don't need to debate whether or not we're doing enough. The fact of the matter is we are burying 20 to 30-year-old people on a fairly regular basis. What we're doing currently is not working. There seems to be an emphasis, and this Luke Frudenberg or whoever he was who was here last week, there seems to be an emphasis that it's going to be a police issue that will address it. And I'm not saying at all that the police aren't part of it. They're an integral part of it, but they are only one part of it. Until we get serious about prevention and treatment along with the efforts of the police, you're never going to make any inroads on this. With all due respect to the school board, who are working diligently to try to get our kids a good education, I would simply ask them to think about this. What good is all of their effort What good is the $140,000 it costs to take a child from grade 1 through grade 12? What good is all of that effort? What good are all of the good teachers if the person doesn't live long enough to utilize the education that they were given? I would simply say that I hope the school board will take another look, reach out. I've never been a believer in reinventing the wheel. There have got to be districts around that have got programs. Again, my loyalty is not to DARE as an organization, but there have got to be other districts nationwide that have come up with a better mousetrap. Please look for it.
Do we need to do a memo from us to the school board?
Right.
How else are they gonna get your message?
I don't, and I'm not opposed to doing it.
I'm not
but
sure
I
they're
just-
gonna listen to this particular meeting. I mean,
Yes, they might watch it.
I seriously hope that they will simply look for that better mousetrap, because I believe it's out there.
do you think they'll be watching this one then?
Oh, I'm sure.
You make sure they do? Okay, then you can get Rick's message.
I'm also gonna go to the next school board meeting to confront them on their irresponsible signage for no weapons. Did you notice the sign? Can I step in front?
Sure.
Did you notice that they presented a sign during the meeting? No drugs, no vaping, no weapons. That seems to be the extent of the drug education. Now, they said that they do have in health class, drug education. But like you said, you can't just stop there. This has to be continued. Now, I don't think they were against having more of an opinion, and you just mentioned the TRICAP is having that facilitated training. Is that what that is?
It's a naloxone and basically an awareness presentation, but it's also for Narcan.
Okay, because I mentioned in the meeting that we need to have a regional discussion about this, like they had over in Wakefield, and I think that is the first step. So I'll be talking about the signage, and I'll be talking about continuing on with a regional conversation. They did say they had one 2 years ago, and my response to that was, 2 years ago? We need to be doing this like every month. We need a follow-up every week.
And to be honest with you, this also goes back, and again, my experience was with DARE. But even back in the day when we had it, it had actually been transitioned nationally from the 6th grade level to the 5th grade level, because they were finding more and more 6th graders who were already being exposed to the drugs. The fact of the matter is, the idea behind that kind of concentrated education is to get them before they're faced with the choice. I get what they were saying, and I know, and I'm not saying they're doing nothing, but they're talking about a lot of what was going on at the high school. Quite frankly, if you wait till high school, in my humble opinion, it's too late.
Too late.
We've all made bad choices in our life, and good kids make bad decisions every day, and they will continue to do that. The key is to try to get them as much information as you can before they're faced with the decision. I humbly disagree that they're doing enough, and I hope that they can make it a priority.
Now, the organization you mentioned, Normal, is not the only organization that stated the DARE program failed. They focused on the fact that the war on drugs has caused more death and destruction than anything else. So it wasn't only, legalizing marijuana or saying that it was that the information. See, kids, from what I see, children listen to the government say one thing, and then they do another. The FDA just allowed the opioid Oxycontin to be used now in 11-year-olds. And they already know that leads to future drug use. It sends a mixed message. So the kids don't trust the message they're getting, and I think that's what Norman was trying to get. This has been studied since the beginning.
It
You have
has,
to know.
and listen, we can have the debate about whether or not the war on drugs has been more harmful than good, and I think I could agree with you on more things that I would disagree. The thing that was perverse was this district utilized the study by Normal in order to justify getting rid of the DARE program. That makes my brain ache.
an organization which is proposing and promoting drug use, using their study to get rid of drug prevention, is the most perverse thing I can think of when it comes to childhood education.
Well, I do have an idea. If I can get a representative, one selectman from each town that pays into the Governor Wentworth School District, to show up at that school board meeting and just respectfully say, we have to get together and do more, would you be willing to send somebody on that day to say what you're saying here?
Yes.
That's the first step, is to start. Because they also said that no one ever comes to the school board meeting, so the communication's got to be there.
We have 4,400 residents, how many a year?
Some of them are out there.
I agree, but I'm just saying that that's an unfortunate part of the reality.
Does that take a vote to have one of you go?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Any other old business?
That doesn't,
Any new business?
no.
Any new business? Open up for public input. Any public input this evening?
Just came to see what's going on.
Well, we need to go into a non-public session for RSA 91A:3(2). Whoops, I'm sorry, Ed.
Sorry. I was just wondering where we were at with the hearing, if there's been any motion forward on the ordinance.
The date hasn't been set as we speak this evening. We did do a final review of it in our own minds tonight. It's going back to our attorney to get him to agree or disagree, and as soon as that's back, we'll have a hearing on it. Any other public input before we move on? Thank you. We do have a need for non-public on RSA 91A:3(2)B, employee, and RSA 91A:3(2)C, a tax matter. Make a motion, we go to the non-public.
Second.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley, yes. We will return as soon as we can complete that business. Thank you.
I know there's been a lot of conflict.
All right, make a motion to return to public meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
In our non-public meeting, we did two things. One, we hired a new employee to be a janitor custodian to clean all of our buildings. That person will be Wendy White, and she will be notified, if she isn't watching this, soon. Second thing, I announced we had a tax matter. When we talked to the tax collector and got upstairs, the person who we had a matter with canceled out, so we did not discuss any tax matters whatsoever. So there's no minutes on that one, so there's no minutes sealed, giving you both things. Any further input from the public?
The only other thing I'd say on the part-time cleaner's position, that's a new position. We wrestled with this for some time. We currently have a private contractor who cleans all of the town buildings, actually two contractors. Overall, we believe that we will have a lot better control and a better job by having our own part-time employee. And I would also put out that based on the hours and the hourly wage, it will be less money than we're currently paying those contractors. So we believe it's a better deal all the way around. We think we're gonna get a better job, but certainly gonna have more control, and it's cheaper than what we're paying currently.
And it's very on our high priority list to try to keep our town buildings just as clean as we can possibly keep them in presenting them to the public. So we certainly feel this is a good move for the town, and like Rick said, it appears that we can do it for a reasonable amount of money, less than we're spending right now. So that's the reason we've done that. Any other public input? Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming.
Yes.